Hello everyone. I'd like to start my speech from mentioning famous words by Steve Jobs. Technology is not enough. Design was always part of Apple's DNA. My education as well as interests include art, sculpture, photography, interior design and architecture. And thinking about my presentation for TED forced me to analyze how I approach art. I'd always ask one question. So this question, why not, naturally took me to my personal crossroads. For example, I tried to mix different kind of things from the beginning. And for example, this is a velvet with ceramic bas relief, this kind of strange sculpture. Or this is an oil print on canvas with photo montage. Over time, as my art evolved, I became interested in mixing of art and technology. And first it was something really small. I used 2 tiny televisions as slight projectors to create a mixed media piece of art called The Wishing Tree. As you can see, it was really small, but it was ultimate for my vision. So this is yet another work. It's oil painting on metal with photo projection, this kind of strange 3D effect. And this is a layered fabric with projections. This is only a detail of a work. And those are some more images of my personal show entitled Illusionary Return to Images. I use all kind of different media, and also I try to use a space as a tool. And over time I also became interested in interior design, not only art, but also art, architecture, and maybe a little bit of style. So how to create a unique space applying all different styles together? Is it possible? So why not to bring a little, for example, some details of facade of Stalinist building into interior and then mix it with some minimalism and a bit of classicism and, many other details. This is just another detail. Or a bit of Venice, a bit of French Baroque. I realized that the process of designing the interior of the building was not so different from my way of making art. Or why not to make a room like a Bedouin's tent with some hints of Byzantine style and a bit of Georgian tradition. But then I became interested not only in interior architecture but also exterior. And soon its preservation became paramount. As Tbilisi began to redevelop and come back to life in 2003, we started a debate how to restore and at the same time how to develop modern public space in historical districts. I was directly involved in the projects to restore and preserve 2 of the main avenues of the capital. We made concept project for reconstruction of the avenues and restoration projects for 3 historical buildings, 18th, 19th century monuments. This is one of the buildings, La Ridze, unfortunately, yeah. So this debate caused me to realize all the possible obstacles or the possible challenges that exist in the local context when we are talking about preserving historical architecture. Without losing its own authenticity. But I want to finish with this and just tell you, switch to something else. While walking on one of the central streets in Moscow, just right after my first solo show, I had my own epiphany. I noticed quite ugly and shabby glazed buildings, those of the Soviet period. in poor condition, of course, and without almost any style left. So I thought, what can be done to improve their appearance? And I had this kind of idea, why not to transform them into huge video screens? But I realized that technology capable of doing this do not really exist. So what to do? I began thinking about a video screen which can be of any size and shape, fit any kind of glazed architecture, and be a part of the building itself, so that it would not require any additional structures. But most importantly, it had to be transparent and be able to project video stream from inside out. So I decided to team with Scientific Research Institute of Technical Glass. The head of the institute was a famous academic who got entranced with this idea, and he gathered a scientific team together, and we began to develop this technology. We then established a company. We called it VGlaze, short for Video Glazing Systems. In 2005, we tested a full-scale prototype at Moscow City Hall. So this is the academic and me. The background is the screen. We got National Treasure Award, a gold medal for this invention. This is a team who worked on the screen. Okay, so now I want to show you the prototype. It's in the factory, how it works. Now don't look on these images in terms of the quality or artistic quality of them. This is just the first step, just to check the color and other technical things. Okay, so the technology had very big potential, and we got the recognition. And then we traveled to Europe and United States to promote this kind of fusion of art, architecture, and technology. Over time, technology has changed. It has gotten bigger and better, but my artistic vision remains the same. A mega project. But what could this mega project be? With huge scale monitors, regardless of exact technology used, it can comprise in itself both glazed surfaces of skyscrapers or side walls of buildings, using conventional LED monitors or video projections or just any other appropriate technology. Let me show you my vision in this video. There are very big possibilities. I mean, you see, I use some particular theme, a modern dance, but it really can be anything. Multiple screens can be combined, and motion may pass or slide from one building to another. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So I want you to imagine that one day soon, this kind of huge video screens on the facades of buildings will appear all around the world. And this kind of mega displays will be capable of transmitting information, around the globe. So imagine this, these mega displays, they exist all around the globe, and they can transmit information simultaneously on several buildings around the globe. Then why not to imagine special screenings that may have an international significance, global value, like art, culture, politics, special dates, events, social context, and so on. Of course, the commercial content will have its role to play, but these two may be more aesthetical and specially adjusted for such large scales. I want you to imagine, for example, that one day a skyline of a city can disappear, and we can transform big cities' concrete jungles into a green garden, the virtual green garden. And this kind of experience can be truly valuable for a big city and can bring a whole new type of experience to it. So, again, the possibilities are endless. Sunrise at night, summer in the winter, and so on and so forth. And I want you to imagine, you know, all the angles of different view, or some parts of entire picture, and you know how you stand there in the city where you know these architectural details are suddenly covered with this kind of projections. And we can imagine, for example, restoring, but in this case, virtually restoring architecture, like the lost monuments that don't exist anymore, like whatever, like Babylon's like garden, hanging gardens of Babylon, or the Bath of Caracalla in Rome, or anything. They can be displayed on the surfaces. Of course, in such case, we would have to think about, the style and architecture and harmony, because we will have to deal with something that we have to combine existing architecture with virtual one. Or yes, but here I really want to emphasize one thing, that the quality, the artistic quality of the image, of the images and videos displayed on these huge mega displays will be of utmost importance, of course. And yet another idea. What if we virtually transport one city to another? I'm talking about architecturally virtually transport. And please imagine its scale, architectural scale. Just for a few minutes, Paris moves to New York, Marrakesh to Hong Kong, and so on. This kind of, very interesting combination of art, culture, and technology, and architecture. So why not to start such kind of project here in Georgia? This is, as we say, this is a ultimate crossroad of culture, tradition, languages, and architecture. Why not? Thank you.